Thanks for joining me on today's episode. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave comments. We do review those. I'm here for the debate. I'm here whether you agree, disagree, like it, love it, or hate it. We here for it all. But to get into the show, before we get into a few segments, because I got some things I want to get off my chest, as well as just to talk about a few things going on with the NBA lately, some of the top stories and news. We do got a slate of games coming up tonight. So we will be doing some prop bets and stuff. If you're not subscribed, subscribe so you can get some of those prop bets and check out and hopefully get you guys to make some money with us because that's the name of the game on them prop bets is to win. If you got anything you want to include on the show, let us know. But to get to our first topic of today, which is some bittersweet news that actually took place. Chris Paul, the point guard, announced his retirement from the NBA after an illustrious 21-season career. One of the league's premier point guards, often called the point guard, as I mentioned. I'd hate to see Chris Paul go, man. 12-time all-time, 12-time All-Star, 11 times All-NBA, just to name a few of the things that he's done on his career, like ranking, I think, is top 2 in assists and steals as a point guard. The legacy, elite leadership, basketball IQ, and competitiveness through retiring without an NBA championship, I believe, is the only asterisk on Chris Paul's career that some people would say. But, his legacy career is legendary, but I feel is also a little bit incomplete because of that. But if we talking resume, like I mentioned, 12-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, which is hard to do, 9-time All-Defensive Team. Think about that. A lot of people don't think of Chris Paul now in today's time as a all-time defensive team, but he made the all-time defensive team 9 times throughout his career. Multiple assist title, multiple steals title, 2-time all-time, top 2 all-time in assists, top 2 all-time in assists, top 2 all-time in steals. That's why he made those 9-time defensive teams, because he's top 2 in steals throughout his career. You don't stumble into numbers like that. You don't accidentally become one of the greatest point guards ever. And that's what he is. Statistically, Chris Paul is a lot for a Hall of Fame. Some would say, is he a Hall of Fame? I say without a doubt. First-time ballot. In his prime, Chris Paul controlled the game like a chess master. Like, you don't see a lot of point guards like that today. It's mostly scoring guards. You don't really see a lot of floor generals in the league who's a pass-first type of player. But Chris Paul was definitely that elite mid-range scorer, pick-and-roll genius, defensive IQ. He turned franchises around, believe it or not. Like, New Orleans Hornets was nothing really before Chris Paul got there. And I know nothing may sound kind of harsh, but he really turned that franchise around once they drafted him. David West, those playoff runs with Chris Paul early on in his career. It's legendary time in the West. I mean, he had juggernauts to go up against, so he didn't have much playoff success. But in his position as a small guard to lead a team, he definitely did that. And then going to the Clippers, he turned that franchise around. Clippers was a laughingstock. No one was thinking about Clippers in L.A. They had a little noise with Corey Maggette and Darius Miles, and that was brief-lived. But, Chris Paul, I don't recall picking them in NBA 2K, NBA Live, none of that until, they got there with that Live City. Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul. They were a problem. Jamal Crawford, they were a problem. OKC, he even, mentored a young Shea after Westbrook and KD left OKC. There was nothing really going on with OKC. The Clippers traded Shea there. He was a young pup. Chris Paul came in and they went straight to the playoffs. And then what he did in Phoenix with Devin Booker, like Book, he took them to the NBA Finals in 2021. A lot of people forget that. He didn't get a ring, but he did get a team to the finals, and that was the Suns, and they haven't been back since. So everywhere he went, teams got better. That's not a coincidence. That's leadership. and he get a lot of flack for his leadership because he want to win. And unfortunately, some NBA players it's just a job for them. They enticed with everything else, the money, the fame, all of that, and winning comes last. But you never thought about that when it came to Chris Paul. He was a win first type of player, and either you like it, love it, or you hated it. He would call you out. I don't think he bit his tongue for no one. He didn't back down from no one. We all saw him and Rondo come to blows on the court. Like Chris Paul didn't take no shit from nobody. You know what I'm saying? And you got to respect a player like that. But here's the problem: like the debate and where it gets uncomfortable. Only one NBA Finals appearance, and he's being the point guard, is why he gets a lot of flack. Like, oh, he couldn't win the team, lead a team to a championship, and that's hard to do for a small guard. You know, this is a team sport. As great as one player can be, you know, it takes more than that. Mike didn't win until he had, you know, Pippen and the team around him. The same thing goes for a lot of these great players. You can lead a team there, but to win one, you really have to be a good team, the best team. And that NBA Finals appearance in 2021 with the Phoenix Suns being up 2-0, then losing four straight to Milwaukee. When you up 2-0 in the NBA Finals and you lose four straight, that follows you. And it does definitely follow Chris Paul as far as his career, having those late game turnovers in that series, playoff injuries throughout his career. Fair or not fair is part of his history, and history only remembers rings. And Chris Paul ran the regular season, but the postseason kind of ran him in a way. And that's unfortunate because he's still a great player and you can't take much from him. It's fair to judge a point guard entire legacy off of one series, but that's kind of how it transpired for him. And like I mentioned, injuries hurt multiple playoff runs, and he did run into dynasties like the Warriors and things like that throughout his career. So that's just Chris Paul is will be remembered as one of the great point guards, hands down. Like I mentioned, you don't make top two assists and steals without being a great player. Like he was a great player in New Orleans. He was a great player in the Clippers uniform. Even late in his career, he was a great player with the Suns. Like I said, he took them to the finals. And you can hate on that or you can respect it. And I definitely respect it. Because you mentioned when it comes to top all-time lists, like let's be real. All-time list right here. Steals. He's number 2 in steals all time. Only behind John Stockton is John Stockton, Chris Paul, Jason Kidd, Michael Jordan, Gary Payton, LeBron James, Maurice Cheeks, Scottie Pippen, Clyde Drexler, and Akeem Olajuwon on the top 10 all-time steal leaders list. That's impressive, man. And then when it comes to assists, where the point guard should be known for, he's 2 in that, only behind John Stockton. He's above Jason Kidd, LeBron James, Steve Nash, Mark Jackson, Russell Westbrook, Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, Isaiah Thomas, Gary Payton, and James Harden, to name a few of all-time assist leaders. Chris Paul on that list. You got to respect it. You got to respect it. And they say a lot about him not really having a ring and things of that nature, but I've never seen in the NBA a commissioner veto a trade, and that's exactly what happened when Chris Paul was supposed to go join Kobe. Imagine those two type of mentalities on the same team. You can't tell me they wouldn't have won a ring. It'd be hard for me to believe that he wouldn't have. But they vetoed that trade, and he never went to LA to play with Kobe. But I would have loved to see Kobe Bean Bryant with Chris Paul on the same court, on the same team. In LA, they definitely would have won the ring. I'd say you could book it. And that's is what it is. But, you know, point guard, the name is deserving. First ballot Hall of Famer, no debate. And like I mentioned, the longevity, the peak dominance, defensive excellency, all-time ranking at his position. You don't become top 2 in assists, top 2 in steals in NBA history and not get in. Rings are a part of the story, not the whole book. Salute to you, Chris Paul, and your illustrious career. Will be missed. I enjoy watching you, brother, and salute to you and everything you brought to the game. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it. But that brings me to the next topic, something else I wanted to discuss when it comes to some of the history books, and that is Kevin Durant moves up on the all-time scoring list. KD, man, come on, bro. You got to respect Kevin Durant, bro. Like, to start the season, he was actually eighth to start this season in all-time scoring list, only above, who was that? Shaquille O'Neal, Carmelo Anthony. He was eighth behind Wilt Chamberlain and Dirk Nowitzki on all-time scoring list. And that's even after the injuries and seasons he's missed due to injury. You know, I believe he probably would have been higher than that by now, but he still has room to improve. And March 26th, Kevin Durant now currently ranked sixth on the all-time scoring list because he did pass Wilt Chamberlain and Dirk Nowitzki this season to move up into the sixth place. He passed my dog, my guy, Dirk, one-legged fadeaway. Kevin Durant even said he modeled a lot of his game after Dirk Nowitzki, especially his pregame routine and shooting around and just those matchups they had in OKC early on to start his career when they made it to the finals. Dirk ran through there and went and got his chip. You had to respect it. Durant he's now chasing Michael Jordan for fifth place, submitting his legacy as one of the greatest scorers of all time. We got to stop acting like this is normal because it's not. It's not normal. Not normal at all. And to move up the all-time scoring list and somehow it still feels somewhat underrated in my opinion. But hey, you got to understand exactly what's going on with KD, man. The Slim Reaper himself, the silent assassin. I can't even say silent because KD gonna talk it. KD gonna talk it. He gonna let you know. We literally are watching one of the greatest scorers the NBA has ever seen, and people talk about him like he's just another star, which he's not. It's history. When you climb the NBA all-time scoring list, like I mentioned earlier, you're not just passing players. You passing eras, you passing legends, you passing Hall of Famers. And longevity matters, efficiency matters, skills matters, and KD has all three. You don't accidentally become on the top 10 score list in the NBA history. That's with dedication and hard work, and everyone knows that. He's one of the most disrespected all-time greats, I believe, because people don't really argue about KD's talent. They argue about his decisions. It's not his talent. His talent is unquestionable. It's the decisions he made with his career, which we feel like we would have done something different, but we not in KD's shoes. He's in his shoes. Your name isn't Kevin Durant. All rings aside, pure basketball ability, he's unguardable. He's 7 foot. Before Dirk, we had never seen a 7-footer with this skill, and his skills are beyond Dirk because Dirk didn't have a handle. Dirk couldn't come down full court. Like, he might do it here and there, but he's not hezzy, step back, tween, cross behind the back, like pull up Jay in your face and you can't block it. Like, Katie, we've never seen that before. And the boy coming out of Texas, drafted to Seattle Supersonics, going to OKC, him, Westbrook, James, they made OKC cool. KD, a 3-level scorer, a lead off the ball, on the ball, playoff performer, efficiency at high volume. He can score 30 and make it look easy, like it's casual, like with his eyes closed. And he doesn't dominate loudly. He's a surgical, you know what I'm saying, type of scorer. And that's hard to do. Top 10. The real question is KD top 10 all time? And if I was making a case for it, I would say his scoring resume, finals MVP, longevity, his era dominance would be a case for. Now, if you're making a case against KD being top 10, the only thing you could really say is the lack of a franchise carrying is the narrative. Like, oh, he had to team up with Golden State. He was up 3-1, lost, went to Golden State, won, and hasn't really carried a franchise back to the championship since then, which is why he doesn't want to team up with Steph, although he respects Steph. He knows that's the narrative around him. He know it. But you can't, like I say, argue his basketball skills because it's there. And if he's not in the top 10, he's at least knocking on the door of all-time top 10 player to ever touch the basketball court. 7 foot Slim Reaper, shoot it from anywhere, 3-level scorer. And I feel like history is going to be way kinder to Kevin Durant than social media is. We're in the social media area where the burner accounts, the trolling. If you get under KD's skin, you know he got time to respond. And I feel like a lot of that trolling is because of that. Because KD always got time for the BS. Let's call it what it is. He got time for it. And a lot of people is amused by that. They just want a response. KD was one of my favorite players. And I say I was one of the ones that was like, man, I can't respect it. He went to Golden State. But when you sit back and think about it, it's his life. If that's what he wanted to do, that's what he wanted to do. It don't take away anything from his skill and talent, because he got that in the bag. You know it. You can't debate it. You can't say he's not a scorer, he's not a great player. You just can debate his decision and franchise carrying. That's the only negative I feel like you could say about Kevin Durant. There's nothing else you really can say. If he had the exact same career he has now, but stayed in one jersey his entire career, we would be talking about KD very differently. And some will put him as the GOAT. Some already have him as the GOAT. And you would say he definitely deserves a statue. Let that breathe. If he had one jersey his entire career, instead of, Brooklyn and Golden State and the Suns and the Rockets, it is what it is. But we're watching greatness in real time, so just enjoy it. And one day when he's gone, the same people nitpicking him now are going to say they appreciated Kevin Durant and they salute everything he brought to the game. All-time scorer, all-time talent. Shout out to you, KD, for passing my boy Dirk, moving up to the 6th spot on the all-time scoring leaders. I know 5 is within reach, 4, 3. Let's see what else you can do before you cap off that career and hang up the shoes at the end of your career. But salute to you, man. Everything you did, respect it. Got to be respected. All-time great, KD. But that's it for KD. That brings me to my final topic, something that's been really bothering me that I have to address. I have to. And it starts with this. Media outlets. A lot of flack. A lot of people are talking. Luka. Is Luka a fraud? Oh, his numbers aren't conducive to winning. Oh, you can't win with him. Oh, he doesn't play defense. All of this naysay and negative stories and this, that, and third about my boy Luka, man. You're hating on my guy. I don't like it. And the crazy thing is, it seemed like the noise has gotten louder since he swapped jerseys. The Lakers' struggles, listen to this. The Lakers' struggles should not sit solely on the shoulders of Luka alone. And a lot of media personnel and shows are bashing Luka, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, you can't win with him. His numbers aren't conducive to winning. It's lazy analysis because the Lakers' struggle isn't Luka. It's a defensive identity. Defensive issues, the roster construction versus star blaming. I believe it's definitely the roster. The Lakers' struggles is not Luka's fault. Before he was there, they were saying the same thing about Bron and AD. They've never really had, other than that bubble year, a roster that fit the team and have a true identity of their game, the type of game they should be playing. You can't ask this guy to create every possession, carry scoring, fix spacing, uh, and play hero every night, and then blame him when it's messy. That's not a superstar failure. That's roster construction. And the Lakers, a lot of Laker fans, they have loud voices. The Lakers media is like Cowboys media. It's just loud. You're going to hear it. You don't blame the engine when the car has no wheels. And that's pretty much the case. Like, who's playing defense on the Lakers? Who's the point of attack defender other than Marcus Smart? Like, you want him to be prolific, all-time great in scoring, and also do it on the other end as well and stop everybody. But the crazy thing is, it's funny how it got louder when he put the Lakers jersey on, but when Luka was in Dallas, nobody was saying you couldn't win with him other than Nico, and that was after the finals. And you see, he dragged us to the finals on a bum leg with Kyrie and defensive players around him. The Lakers, since he got there, that team has not been constructed for Luka. It hasn't. In Dallas, we built a team around Luka and his deficiencies. We knew how great he was offensively. We got him another score, so you couldn't just double team him. You can't double team Luka and leave Kyrie alone. You can't double team Kyrie and leave Luka alone. Is Luka a defensive player? Is Kyrie a great defensive player? No. And we had both of them on the same court. And where did that get them? The NBA Finals. Know why? Because you had defensive wings around him. You had defensive bigs around him. DeAndre Ayton don't even know what role he wants to play. Jackson Hayes is Jackson Hayes. That's all I got to say about that. Like, let's be real, bro. Like, you had Luka and Kyrie on the same team on the court at the same time, and neither of those guys are great defenders. But what did they do? They were so prolific on the offense. They funneled the players down to the paint on the defensive side of the ball, where you had rim protectors and defensive wings that could get out and make a play. They beat OKC. They beat who did all they beat in that run? OKC, I have to go back and look, but it was great teams that we ran through. Minnesota Timberwolves with Rudy Gobert, and Cat was on that team then. You had Cat and Rudy on the same team. You had OKC. You had who else? I'm trying to think of the first. We beat the Clippers with Paul George and Kawhi, and that defensive team, Terrence Mann, all of them, defensive players, offensive scorers. But you can't win with him. Come on, bro. Come on. He put up historic playoff numbers. He carried teams to the Western Conference Finals. When Luka was in Dallas, nobody said you couldn't win with him. Nobody. He dropped 40-point triple-doubles like it was routine. Back then, he was special. Now, suddenly, he's the problem. The only thing that changed was the jersey. Fact check. Let's get this straight. Luka has been one of the most productive playoff performers of his generation. Elite scoring averages, high usage because he has the offensive engine to every team he's on. You don't build an entire offense around a guy because he's flawed. You do it because he's elite. And that's really what it is. The Lakers' issues aren't about Luka being an unwinnable player. It's about fit. It's about defense, depth, consistency. You can't ask one player to carry the scoring load, create every shot, fix spacing, anchor the late game execution, then blame him when the system cracked. You don't blame you can't do it. Let's be honest. When you play for the Lakers, everything gets magnified. In Dallas, the struggles were basketball talk. In LA, struggles become headlines. This isn't about basketball anymore. It's about narrative. And they pushing this weak ass narrative around Luka. You can't win with Luka. It's absolutely trash. But you can win with bad roster constructions. That roster isn't fit to win nothing. It ain't Luka that's the problem. We got to the Western Conference Finals with Dorian Finney-Smith. Who else did we have on that roster? A bunch of defensive wings. He was really the only prolific scorer when we went. Jalen Brunson, when Jalen Brunson then, he was growing into the player you see now. You know what I'm saying? Even with Kyrie, he had JB. Is Jalen Brunson a defensive player? They attack him every possession, every pick and roll. And him and Luka was on the court at the same time and still went to the Western Conference Finals and lost to Golden State, who went on to beat Boston to win the chip. No one said anything about you can't win with Luka when he hit game time shots on the Clippers, buzzer beaters on Rudy Gobert, and running through Minnesota with Ant-Man was hyped to be the next face in the MJ of the league that season. With no identity, that's the real question. The Lakers don't have an identity. If Luka wins one championship in LA, this entire narrative will flip overnight because we don't judge stars by process. We judge them by parades. We don't judge them by the process. We judge them by the parades. And if he was to bring a parade in LA, all that would change. But right now, it's all his fault. Is Luka perfect? No superstar is. No superstar is perfect. But the idea that you can't win with him is crazy. Trash narrative. Get it out of here. You didn't say that in Dallas. Don't start saying it now. Build it right and you'll see. Build a team that fits his playing style. He needs shooters around him. He needs a nice pick and roll, defensive, lob threats, because he's a master. He got the basketball on the string. He controls the whole floor of the game. All of this praise when he was in Dallas. Now he in LA, and most of the fans, it's a bigger market, bigger market, more fans. So it's louder. It's gonna be louder. But I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I'm not hearing it. I don't want to listen to it. You can't make me convince. You can't convince me that you can't win with Luka. I've seen it done. Did they cap it off? No, but we needed shooting. We needed extra shooting when we played Boston. Boston showed us our flaws. If it wasn't Kyrie and Luka getting going, without our defender, we had Derrick Jones, we had PJ Washington, Derek Lively. We didn't really have shooters around them other than Derrick Jones Jr., which, if one or two shooters get cold, that was it for us. So we was this close. So I don't want to hear it. He dragged us to the finals. Crickets. I don't want to hear it. Build a roster that suits his talent, and he will definitely get it done. So stop all the Luka hate. It's unnecessary. It's stupid. It makes no sense. I don't get it. I don't want to hear it. If you agree, leave comments. If you disagree, leave a comment, because I got time to debate. We can get into it. Hate it, love it, don't matter. Home Team Hype gonna give you facts and opinions always. We ain't sugarcoat nothing this way. And that has it. I had to get that off my chest. Please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys tuning in every show. We'll have more to come following this NBA season and get into some of this NFL offseason that's taking place. Like I said, Home Team Hype, we here for you. You here for us. Leeway, I'm out.